Hey, how's it going? Dinner with Darwin. Woohoo! What's on the menu today? That, my friends, would be flounder. We discussed flounder in the last video. Very light fish, 90 calories approximately for 4 ounces. I have right around 10 ounces, so we're talking pretty close to 200 calories. I have a creamed spinach with yellow and red bell peppers in it, and green onions with some cilantro, garlic, and of course butter. The way I prepared the fish was I melted a couple of tablespoons over very low heat. I did not want my butter to burn, and we will be getting interrupted by that periodically throughout that, but as my oldest daughter has recently moved to Washington State, and she's making a real go of it, and we're texting back and forth because I miss her ridiculously. So expect that to be going off and me to get distracted. Because as a man, multitasking, not my strong suit. Where was I? Oh yeah. I melted the butter for the flounder over a very low heat, and then I put the flounder in it with just salt, and that's it. No pepper, no nothing else. Ding! That's my daughter. And that's it. I just let it almost a sous vide method without packaging the protein. And then of course, I don't like to throw out food. Sometimes it's inevitable, sometimes it is not. I try to avoid it, now, especially now that we're paying more for organic foods. And I had some mushrooms left over, and I had purchased them almost 7 days ago. 6 days ago. And they had to be used up, so I do what I do with mushrooms, put them in a pot, some butter and some salt. And that, in a nutshell, is Dinner with Darwin. I'll put some pictures up in the video, of course. Okay, let's eat. I'm going to dig into this creamed spinach. This brother can cook. Good stuff. Mushrooms. I do love my mushrooms. And then some fish. We're going around the plate just trying everything real quick. And then we'll get into it. I have no complaints with today's dinner. Ah, that's delicious. It's so good. Mushrooms are just like unreal. I remember when my wife and I lived in St. Charles, Illinois. Just happened to be wandering through the woods. There was a forest preserve, like a couple of blocks from our house, with a nature trail through it. There was a whole activity center back there. It was a great place. The kids went back there for field trips and whatnot. And it was a very neat place. There was a bridge that went back there. I used to go back there and get a lot of photographs, do a little filmmaking just for fun. And it was a great place. But anyway, I was back there one year and I noticed these great big white orbs sticking out of the ground, and big orbs like that. And it turns out they were puffball mushrooms. Anyway, I harvested them and I cooked a few right on the spot, and I froze some. And remarkably enough, they froze well, and they were delicious. I mean, you want to talk about mushroom taste. It was crazy. I've never tasted such intense mushroom taste before. Delicious. And of course the preparation, you know, butter and salt. Before I just jumped into picking some odd mushroom, I did a lot of research. Standing next to the puffball mushroom, of course. But I did a lot of research because mushrooms can be very dangerous. If you pick and ingest the wrong kind, you're asking for a world of trouble. This is so good. And it's so good. I have a friend out there who is also a chef, who is a avid. He likes to hunt morels. Morel being another mushroom, which I don't have much experience with the morel. I would like to get involved. I just don't have the first clue. I mean, yes, I could Google it and get myself out there, but who's got the time for that? I'm vlogging. I have 3 or 4 YouTube channels. I have to work, help with our business here at home. It's a nutty time of life we live in. But it's all good, you know. It's all pleasurable stuff. You know, it's funny. I'm with this dinner. I'm a huge fan of creamed spinach. I'm a bigger fan now that I added the onions and the bell peppers with the cilantro in there, and garlic, of course, sautéed in bacon and butter. However, being as big a fan of that as I am, it's still my least favorite thing on the plate. I'm much more into the mushrooms and the fish, especially the mushrooms. As you remember from the last video, the mushrooms beat out the steak, and they waylaid the salad. But being carnivorous by nature, a mushroom is so much closer to meat than spinach that there's really no contest. Apples to oranges, you know what I'm saying? There's no comparison. So, I don't know how. It's my least favorite thing on the plate. There's no reason to overthink it or over-technicalize it. I mean, I love it, don't get me wrong, it's delicious, but if there was a hunk of lobster tail here, I'd be telling you that that'd be my favorite thing on the plate. So it doesn't matter what lobster's next to, lobster would be my favorite thing on the plate. That the bell peppers in there though really take the creamed spinach to a whole new level. What I do is I julienne first, and then I dice them, medium dice, not small, medium, so you get some chew. Butter in the pan, melt that down, don't let it burn. Bacon, cut into lardons, which are just thin sticks of bacon. In over that. You can pull the bacon out to crisp it if you want. I did not do that this time, just due to time constraints. And then, in with the spinach, hit that with a little garlic powder, or you can use fresh garlic. I like using garlic powder because it's convenient. A little salt, a little pepper. Let that reduce. Then throw in your diced bell pepper. Did I skip the onions? The onions go in with the bacon and the butter. Always. Sorry. And I use green onions, the long, thin green onions, because they're low on the carb scale. And I can get those organic. So that kind of helps. Carbs in green onion. I don't have all this in my head, so I have to look it up. Let's see. Mm-hmm. 1.1 gram total carbohydrates, but that doesn't tell me how many are. Let's see. You know, they should just, when you ask a question like that, it should just pop up. Yeah, 1/2 cup chopped green onions, which I'm nowhere near. I put 3 in here. That's maybe 1/4 cup, maybe a little over. But that's only 3 grams of carbs, so party on. We put that in, then let that saute down a little while, and then throw in the spinach, let that reduce completely, and then add your green peppers or your bell peppers and your cilantro. Again, let that saute up just a little bit, and then throw in the cream. And then you just cook that until it's reduced. I used a thickener, but don't tell anybody. Again, for time constraints, I didn't have time to let the cream reduce 100%. 100%. Down to my liking. So I used a thickener, and I don't feel one bit guilty about it. The thickener that I used was xanthan gum. It is a keto-friendly powdered product. Wow, this is wildly delicious. They really need to come up with taste and smell-o-vision. That way I can make enough for everybody and we can all enjoy it together. That would be interesting. I know, that's just silly. Well, I managed to get my least favorite item on the plate out of the way. Now it's just down to the mushrooms and the fish. Again, it's flounder, and there's only 90 calories approximately for 4 ounces. And I think flounder might be carb-free. I'm giggling because I'm trying to get my phone to do something, and it constantly argues with me. I'm a huge fan of Apple products, but I think they built into the iPhone X argumentative properties. Sounds like somebody's going by with a Harley Davidson. Either that or they're beating on the side of my house with a hammer. Carbs in portobello. Yes, those are portobello mushrooms. Here we go. 0.6 grams of carbs in 1 medium mushroom. Wow. So if you eat 100 grams of mushrooms, you're talking, I don't know what that is on the imperial scale. I'm not from over there or up there. You're talking 6 grams of carbs. Nothing. And they're good for you. They're just delicious. They're good for you. You can't go wrong with a good portobello mushroom. You can't go wrong really with any kind of mushroom that's edible. Remember I said edible. Oh, this is so good. But with all of that said, remember, organic veggies, I say this a lot, you want your meat grass-fed, pasture-finished, you want your seafood wild-caught, none of farm-raised garbage, and no tilapia by any means, please. Stay away from tilapia. probably going to piss off a lot of tilapia farmers, but I'm sorry, that fish is garbage. There is nothing healthy, nothing redeeming about that fish. It's just science. It's a science experiment. It's Frankenfish, that's what it is. Okay, and farm fresh eggs, pasture-raised chickens. Go to local sources, get to know your local sources, shop from your local sources. And when I say local sources, I don't mean the big box stores, I mean the farmers. Go meet the farmers. If you got to take a little bit of extra time, extra travel, it's worth it. Your body will thank you for it. And you'll just live a better lifestyle, if you ask me. Because you'll feel better. And who doesn't want to feel better? All right? All right, man. Thank you, Lord, for this day and for this food. And thank you for those people watching. I greatly appreciate it. There is a Harley Davidson out there. In Jesus' name, amen. Protect that rider. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Dinner with Darwin. I am Chef Darwin. As if you could help it, go with God, my friends. Bye-bye now.